I have finally finished sorting through all 70 or so entries that I received when I threw down the mapping gauntlet, and I'm hosting the last bunch of them on the servers right now. Defenestration maps have been on the servers for over 3 months. I thought it was a game mode that I had thought up, but having seen the variety and ideas everyone else has come up with for it, it's no longer the thing I had envisioned when I first released my own map for it on April the 1st. And that's not a bad thing. It has shown me, and hopefully many newer players, that Counter-Strike doesn't only have to be diffuse mode. The original hostage game mode does still have purpose. It can be fun, it can be funny, and can even potentially be balanced. Unfortunately for Defenestration, I don't think the windows prove to be a crucial part of the experience, which kind of renders the name obsolete. Not only that, but what are you meant to use for the game type? DE? DF? I think the latter is what most people have settled on, though I really should have thought this through before making the game mode in the first place. The defining feature of the Defenestration game mode was more about the CTs being able to reach the hostages before the terrorists could, and then being able to save them in dramatic and often suicidal ways. I don't know what I'll be doing next with the servers. I feel like this game mode has run its course, but there's always the possibility that I could re-host the favourites from every week if enough people want that. Let's see how this map collection does for now. I've chosen 6, each with different reasons to be played. And in addition to these 6 is Gale, which was that level with the fog and nothing but windows everywhere. This has been completely redone and is now more like a Quake arena littered with explosive barrels, power-ups and boost ramps. There's even a turret that you can control, and things that you can pick up. The hostage positions are still randomised, and you've got to get them into the back of this helicopter, which can be done fairly quickly if you know the right boost ramps to use. Now on to the 6 new maps. I'll start with Obsidian, since it's the prettiest looking map here, and while that doesn't mean it'll play the best, it might do because the layout's pretty robust as well. But let's talk about these graphics. I think the map might be half finished, what with all the white textures, but it goes beautifully with the black obsidian and red lava that you'll find flowing down many of the map's surfaces. And yes, it does kill you, quickly. The colours remind me a lot of Portal actually. I did want to feature this map a bit earlier on, but I didn't like how far the CTs had to run with the hostages, so I suggested the rescue zone was moved to the volcano in the middle, because how could you not have that as the hostage rescue zone? If it ends up playing poorly because of that, then you can blame me, and I'm sorry for ruining what might have been a perfectly balanced map with that suggestion. When I first played Cubes, I felt it was a traditional style of diffuse map, much like the one I had originally made, and I realised that while I've hosted many that play quite differently from that first Defenestration map, it might be time to host some that stick with the original spirit of the game mode. And that's what this one does. It's mostly a large open central courtyard with lots of platforms and tunnels leading off from it. It has launch ramps, watery drops, a scary, cloudy hull, and a bit of parkour. I think it'll play relatively well, and even if it doesn't, I don't think it will take many changes to get there. What I like about Sacrifice is that it feels like a dev-textured version of a map that's been tested thoroughly. It's extremely small, but with lots of unique angles and cover. Every round will be a fast, frantic affair. Now don't be mistaken, you don't have to plunge down this pit to rescue the hostage. You have to reach this truck just here, but the tricky jump over the pit is one of the fastest ways of getting there. It all seems nicely thought out, and it'll be easy to get behind the enemy team if you rush fast enough and use a few tactical grenades at the right times. Deeseeyes is another classic Defenestration layout, with CTs starting down low and having to quickly rush to reach the hostages before the terrorists block off their path. Managed to reach them in time though, there are several ways of reaching the hostage rescue zone in just a matter of seconds. I like this because I don't expect a team to be fooled by the same thing more than once. So I expect each round to be like a dramatic version of rock paper scissors as one team discovers an advantage, then as the other works to find ways of turning it to their advantage. I feel there are some parts of this map which won't see much use, but then I imagine if a round drags on for a while then it could lead to more depth and variety for the stragglers to try and utilise to claw victory from the jaws of failure. Or vice versa. I feel like Hillside is one of the simplest and easiest maps to learn. I can't see how there will be much variation on how the teams play this one. It's pretty obvious where they need to go and where the enemy team will appear from. But is that a good or a bad thing? It's an open map, so I think smokes will be a must-buy here, and if CTs can coordinate their efforts to throw down a wall of smokes to the hostage rescues drop, then it'll be a beautiful thing to behold. It'll either be a super fun map or one that people quickly tire of. But I feel it'll have to be played by real people before we can know which one it is for sure. I suspect the key to balancing this one will be about repositioning the hostage rescue drops that it's just the right distance away to be challenging, but still possible for either team to win at. And lastly, Rise. As CTs, you have to reach the top platform to rescue the hostages. I very nearly didn't feature this one because I thought it would be too much effort to get up here. But the more I played this one, the more ways I discovered of getting up there. You can sneak down below and behind T-spawn, or you can boost each other up the quickest route. Or you can run up the thinnest, fastest staircases ever. Or you can simply use the lift. It leads to enough variations and is small enough that even if the hostages can't be saved, the journey there should be fun enough to be worth doing. Also, while the map is pleasantly lit and constructed, it's strange to see more detail outside the playable area than there is inside it. So in case this is it, thank you to everybody who made or played on the Defenestration game mode. Let's hope Valve makes this the focus for the next operation.